Hello, fellow Kerbal, this is Neppy. Sorry for the long delay of posting anything. My old space program went to updates and updates of mods, and then the feeling that it doesn't really need to continue. Here we do have my new project now. I thought I'll try again and again and again to build a shuttle. This is my new shuttle program. You can see it is an MK3 build up with a main hall and a huge wing section, which I thought would be nice. Nevertheless, this is the second test flight. I forgot, I mixed up to record the first because it was just like, building, and I didn't even expect this thing to fly, so I didn't record. This is the second launch, I'm sorry, of this test model. It flew very nice with its own tank, with its own fuel reserves. It has about I think about 850, 900 meters per second delta V. What you can see here now is something more than 2000 because it has a little tank inside of its bay. It flew so well with its own reserves, with its own fuel reserves. I had a big round around the Space Center and landed it successfully on the runway down in the Kerbal Space Center, which I was very amazed that finally I built something that looks kind of like a shuttle, but not really, and it flies, and I can land it and have control most of the way. Um, so I thought at this point, of course, further, we are a little developed now, but let's get back to the second launch here. I thought it's flying so well, I can really, it's a glider basically, and you have this huge wings you can see. It's basically a glider, and it glides very nice around 60, 70 meters per second. It's really a nice speed to find a runway somewhere. It's not like, I think I didn't have it stalling at all, except for many of the launch failures when I attached a huge tank to it and some boosters and was trying to get it into orbit. Now we're at about the level that this thing normally has, delta V. We're at 13 kilometers and already have a speed of 430 meters per second, roughly surface speed. I was really amazed how good this thing flies and gets up to this point. Sorry that I say this after 3 minutes now, but this is all just the second launch. Okay? There will be no other stuff seen here. It's just basically me being proud of finally having a space shuttle which flies, and I can tell you, I can give you a little spoiler, it is a space shuttle. But we'll see more of that in a different episode probably. So yeah, I won't even spoil if it came back successfully or if it is, but we reached space. We were able to reach space. Let's say it like that. So we have an apoapsis theoretically of 38,000 and decreasing, and we're at 30 kilometers now, with about 2,000 meters per second delta V. We reached more than 700 meters per second in surface in speed relatively, sorry, to the surface, which is quite some nice speed, I have to say. It's definitely like Mach 2 or something like that. Yeah, and now I'm trying to play a little bit with this S-curve thingy, to glide through the atmosphere and kind of have a braking maneuver, which at this point at the speed I don't really need, or we didn't really need here. But Jebediah, Bill, Bob, and Valentina is there as well. they were really amazed about their flight. Not everybody. Jebediah was enjoying it a lot and all the time, all the flights of the space shuttle, because I think none of them died by now. But that's only, oh no, once. But usually okay, reload, back to launch when that happens. So they're fine. Bob looks a little scared. He's quite high for his point now. I mean, this is just a sandbox game I opened to play around and to start a shuttle program and to try again, because in my save game I have now, I'm not really that progressed that I think about building an MK3 shuttle. Oh, with MK3 parts. It's more, I got like, I don't know, half of the MK2 parts by now, so yeah, not really worth it. If I want to have a shuttle, I want to have a big shuttle which can bring like a lab into orbit and stuff like that, you know? So that's basically what this is for, to build a space station, maybe a nice day. We'll see. I don't know if I want to go gonna build a space station, or we'll see, you know. But at least it has the capability of doing that. Um, there are some upgrades to it already. As I said, this is the second launch of it. Only by its own power, you know, and a little reserve tank from the runway got up to 30 kilometers in height and like high, and you know, now we're aiming for this little island over there to the left. I probably had the capability to turn this thing around and fly back to the space center. But as I said, I was basically still amazed how well this thing is flying. And you can see I have no problems of kind of steering it. It's not doing some unforeseeable or unforeseen stuff. It's just being there very nice and soft in the air, and it can be a hard deal to steer. Basically when it gets too fast, of course. But usually it's in the normal speeds when you would try to land this thing. You can see I can basically good maneuver it. The later updates will have maybe a different flight pattern, but in the development so far, really amazed, and I haven't thought that I would be able to make a shuttle. Okay, I have to take a sip of beer. Some other people usually say which kind of beer it is. There's a lot of good beers in Germany, so it's some German beer. Okay, good, done. Yeah, okay. So what we'll see now is basically crash landing. No way. We're still 12 kilometers up. So, of course, what I want to go with this thing is not to have it launch by itself on the runway. With some tanks attacked somewhere outside of the bay, it might be possible to do that. But I want to put stuff in the bay, right? In the cargo bay. That's what it's for, to bring cargo up, to bring like satellites up and station parts and whatever. And it is, of course, reusable. So far, quite a success on that one. But still, so of course the goal is to go somewhere in the vicinity of the real space shuttle. From the normal techniques you would go up, let's say. So it's not supposed to look like it, because it's still like an own build shuttle, and I don't want to use all those mods and stuff. This is just stock parts. It's nothing that you wouldn't get in the normal game, I'd say, because you can see that this is a little modded, but not too much. Just like some fun stuff that I like to use. The engineer, everybody knows, and of course the deadly reentry, and yeah, well, there needs to be deadly reentry. I don't know the really. Never mind. Well, whatever. So, but it's stock parts. I don't have any like pre-made mod parts, which are great. You get awesome mods for all kinds of stuff, and of course for shuttles as well. And you can see how other people build that, and just like try to rebuild it, or even get the craft file or whatever, you know. So, but I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to have a real copy of the shuttle. You know, this is what the game is about. You know, to develop your own stuff, to make up your own rockets and satellites, and build your own missions around all the parts you can have. And with mods, that gets much more, even more, like much more, even more fun than the original game already is. To have like some extra fun devices or moving parts, or just if it's just about optics, because this is like, yeah, you can see it's like oh, that's me zooming in. But you can see it's like stitched together like the old Kerbal way. Struts, give him struts. um, but that's, you know, that's what it holds together. Oh, the Kerbal attachment system is there as well. And like this part strengthener, this connection, never mind. So yeah, but the parts itself is just stock. And we're coming in for the landing here. As you can see, we're like 100 meters per second delta V, and going down 3,000 meters. So it's quite nice. I don't know if I switch back to the surface mode at some point, but we'll see. I'm just trying to like eyeball here the nice area in the back, and try to find a spot where it looks appropriate to land. Not in those hills in front here. That would be like maybe less fortunate to land there. So I'm trying for the main plateau over there to get on that and have a very safe and smooth landing. Maybe I'll try to aim for some airport next time, or like some runway next time. Definitely always like, if other people, especially our all beloved Scott, um, when he's able to, you know, get down with a with a shuttle and land it on the runway. I know it might not be so hard, but if you haven't got the hold of it yet, then it's you might land somewhere in the vicinity of the space center, meaning on the same continent, uh, but it's not always so easy. I'm hoping that with this glider it will actually be nice, because you can see that we're holding the speed around 72, 73, yeah, around 72 meters, yeah, 72 meters per second here. And unfortunately don't put in the surface information, or I didn't have it here, because then we would see some more nice stuff like the vertical and the horizontal speed, but whatever. It's a nice speed, controllable, as we said before. It's about 220 kilometers an hour, something like that. A little more maybe now. But you know, it's for a big airplane like that. Airplane, I say airplane. It's a shuttle, damn it. A shuttle. A space shuttle it is. It's at least the prototype for one. We just need to strap some boosters on it. More boosters, always more boosters. And a huge tank that those great engines, those vector engines here in the back, yeah, they're wiggling around, that they can do their magic. They're strong. Weren't they the ones that they built as of the real space shuttle, the engines, because they had such a big vector? I might be wrong on this, but they are great and they are awesome for a shuttle. And look how smooth. Oh yeah, on touchdown. Great, at 60 meters per second. We'll have touchdown, put in the brakes. As you can see here, we don't have a drogue chute or air brakes. One of them might come later, or is already there, who knows. But we're still able to land this thing safely, bring all 4 Kerbals back to ground safely, all alive and well, Thanks a lot for watching this new episode of my Space Shuttle program, and hopefully I see you soon, guys, or you see me, or not me, but the program. Stay tuned. Take care. Bye bye.